Hello everybody, it's your boy JR Reviews back out with another video here to bring, and also happy Father's Day to all y'all, to bring you another review, anime review. Today's anime, I'm reviewing two animes and I'm also doing another video. The other video will be a top 10 list. But for me personally, in this video I'm reviewing one of the animes that I really got into. I'm just like, kind of close to my heart, but like, it's not that, it's one of those animes, like, if you actually watch it, you'll have a good time. It's ecchi, it's fun, it is an ecchi anime, but it's really the anime teaches you more about the power of love in general and stuff, and really relationships and all that. It was a really good anime. It's called Sekirei, and if you don't know what that Sekirei is about, I'll give you somewhat of a rundown. One second, let me lock my door. So, Sekirei is about a guy named Minato Sahashi, who lives in this Capitol building, and he's a 2-year flunker of the college exam to enter college. He's failed it for 2 years. One day, while he's failed it again, he meets a girl who's being chased by two other girls, and her name is Musabi, and he basically rescues her in a way and takes her to his apartment, even though there are no girls allowed in his apartment. And it's just supposed to be him. He gets caught later on by this girl and by his landlord, and he gets kicked out. But before that happened, he finds out she's a sekirei, and what that is like, they're basically genetically altered humans from that have the powers of gods. And what they're trying to find is their ashikabi, which, once you find out what an ashikabi really is, if you keep going further into the anime, or the manga, because the anime only had 2 seasons, and then it continued to the manga until 2018. That was when the ending of the series really was. So, to finish the manga would be, I finished the manga twice already. I reread it for this video interview. I finished it yesterday night. Anyways, he did something. He kisses her, and the only way to become a sekirei, to get an ashikabi, is what happens when they find their ashikabi is there's a physical reaction, a body reaction happens. They get very hot, meaning they get turned on. Maybe their heart starts to beat very fast. They start to sweat. Because not only is an ashikabi like a master, but it's also like a husband marriage partner. So the way they work is they give to become winged, which means become someone's sekirei, is through a mucosal contact. So they have to kiss the person they're trying to be ashikabi, and everyone can be an ashikabi. Turns out that an ashikabi has a genes to be an ashikabi from future ashikabi, and sekirei date marrying and all that type of shit. It's always really complicated, but you learn that more in the manga but just for this anime part of it, they don't go in too far into it. So that is where he meets Musabi, who turned out to be, there's 108 sekirei in total all around this thing, and there's a plan that the head of the company, who later turns out, when you find out in the manga, is the Minato Sasashi's father, who he has never met before, and his mother works for the company, and kind of lied to him all his life that she worked for a pharmaceutical company, which is technically not the false statement, but also not the wrong statement. So there's the MBI company, who's in charge of all the sekirei and all that, is somebody doing a sekirei plan, which is basically once all the sekirei have been winged, they're going to fight it out in a gigantic fight with their ashikabi, and the last one standing gets a wish to be granted, and gets to live a happy life forever with their ashikabi. Musabi is number 88. It's the first sekirei wins. He wins 6 sekirei in total is how he wins. My favorite, now again, I'm going to go into, Musabi is not my favorite. I like Musabi, but she is not my favorite. Now, in anime, there's something called a waifu, and I'm not going to lie, I don't usually talk about my waifus and from like at all. Like I barely talk about. I do have them. I just don't talk about them. But like these are the like 3 times that I kind of talk about them because each 3 of these girls offer like something different, and I really like them for their, I guess, personality, their characteristics, and they're very funny. Um, so the first 3 girls, my favorite girl of all 3 of these girls, his name is Skumi. She is the fourth sekirei that is give that Minato gets. She is also a single number, which is they're the most powerful sekirei because they were when they got their tuning, they got like an extra, which is like I guess you could say like a training slash DNA transfer. They got like extra more DNA to it, something like that. So they got more. They're more powerful. Um, Skumi has the water abilities, and she talks like it's in Old English. So she says, thou art, pray telleth," all that type of stuff. And she's really, really funny because she gets really upset when Minato shows too much affection to the other girls. Or then there's my other favorite, which is number 3, which is Kazahana, and she is has wind powers, I could say. She basically controls the wind and also flowers, which is weird, but not weird. And she's really into love, and like whenever there's actual love around, she's like gaga and gooey, like all over, like oh my god, it's so cute, oh. And also she's a drunk. She's like huge in the sake. Actually, a lot of the scenes before that, when early in the anime, she's fine just drinking and being drunk on the roof of a building. Number 4 and number 3 is number 6, who isn't winged until the 2nd season, and he or she, because originally the way his body was is he was an unstable one because of his power, and he has the ability to he has fire abilities. He can control fire. Or she, because what happened is, since he was unstable, his actual gender is unstable too. So he could be male or female. And in the and whoever his Ashikabi is, and whatever his Ashikabi wants his gender to be, that's how it ends to be. The end. So he ends up joining Minato ends up joining him because he's about to die, because his abilities were basically reaching critical mass and he was going supernova. He was going to basically destroy half the city plus himself. And he gets winged, and his name is Kagari, or Hamura. Another one is they go, and then there's there's 2 more. Second sekirei that Minato gets is a girl named Kusano or Kuchan, and Kusano is like a little girl. She is number 108. She's the last of the sekirei, and I would say that she's one of the most, I think, cutest of the characters I've seen, and she has not that bad of a pretty cool abilities. Her abilities with plants and basically making like life. She's like, I guess she's the embodiment of Gaia, Earth in Greek mythology. And also, when sekirei have been defeated, there's a crest on their thing. Their crest disappears, and they don't die exactly. They just go into like a termination sleep. And as long as they get treatment for like I guess an hour or so, or something, I don't know how long, but like as long as they get treatment, they're basically brought back to life. But they're in a comatose state. And she actually finally, I think the last part of the manga, like the last few chapters, we finally got to see her Naruto, which is what happens is, so there's regular powers that each of the sekirei have, like normal attacks and all that. But then there's like a special ultimate attack, or like ultimate special attacks that can only be brought on by doing the a Naruto, which is basically the Ashikabi must kiss the sekirei, and the sekirei will recite a incantation. So for example, I'll give you Kazahana's incantation is by By the four winds of my contract, may the dark clouds of my Ashikabi be blown away. That was the way it goes in the anime. In the manga, it's by the winds of my pledge. May the dark clouds of my Ashikabi be blown away, and then she does whatever attacks she's gonna do. Ku's ability basically reanimated, like brought all their, even though they were terminated, brought them all back. Like just brought them all back. I'm like, damn, that was a good ability. That's a pretty cool ability. So, anyways, Ku was like badass. Also, she's a little girl. Ku's my favorite character, and honestly, if I lived in the anime universe, the only person I want is my little sister because she's just so funny, so cute, and just incredibly cute. I'm sorry, I just can't stop saying she's cute. She really is that cute. You'll see in the when I put the thumbnail. The thumbnail will be of her. She's the only small girl in there. So yeah, those are really my main the waifus. I would say I pick those three. There's then the other two. The other second one he has is the third he winged is Matsumi, which is number 2, and she really is a nerd. She's like the nerd. She's like able to hack into everything. Mizubi, also I forgot to tell you what Mizubi is. She's a fighting type. She basically is a hand-to-hand fucking punch you to death kind of person. She's also a klutz, kind of. And yeah, mainly that's about it. So definitely go watch out Sekirei. If you haven't watched it, go read the manga too. To finish up the series once you finish watching the anime. Not much changes really from the anime to the manga. I'm not gonna go too deep into the series. If I had to give it a rating for Sekirei, the entire series as a whole, not just the manga but also the anime, I'll give it 8.5 out of 10. Personally, it was one of my favorite animes. Also, one of my favorite mangas to reread recently. I honestly can't stress this enough. It's really, really good. And it's not even because of the ecchi. It was just a really good story. I mean, the ecchi I didn't even notice for half the time until it happened. Sometimes after a few episodes, you just forget the ecchi stuff is even there. And you're just enamored with the actual, story and, the complex relationships between the characters and all that. I mean, honestly, I thought when I realized they wasn't coming back for the next season, I'm like, damn it, why? And I guess it just didn't get what it deserved, but it completed the manga form, which I definitely was happy about. So definitely go watch this series. Read the manga. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.